It doesn't matter what you have in your box.
Right. It doesn't.
Whatever trauma, it doesn't matter what it is in the box. It's holding you back, whether you believe it or not.
Hello there. It's Mandy Woodard, and this is Courageous Conversations. The show is all about our life journey and the growing and healing we go through. Sometimes it takes great courage to step out of where we are and choose a different path. I started this show because I wanted you to know that you are not alone, no matter where you are in your life journey. And my hope is that you will hear a story that I share or a conversation that I have, and you will get something out of it. You will have an aha moment or a realization, and you'll know what you need to do, because it is my belief that we are all here to help each other grow and become the best version of ourselves and find what our purpose is. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Let's get started.
Hello. Welcome to episode 25. That feels like a milestone number. I think anytime we start something, it's easy to kind of quit or step back from it. And I did take a little break. That is true. But I am pretty proud of myself for hanging in there. There's not, how do I want to say this? There's not like a ton of reward yet anyway with having the podcast. It's more for me. It's a passion project. It's wanting to get stories out that might help somebody. And I don't know, I'm a little proud of myself for hanging in there and keeping going. And I just couldn't imagine not doing this, to be honest. This is the, second or third week in a row, though, that you have to listen to me congested. Okay, we got to figure this out. I need some detox tea or something. I feel totally fine. It's just that residual, not going to go away congestion. And it's the worst, right? So thanks for hanging with me through that. Okay, I did want to invite you to one thing. I have started sending out weekly love letters, is what I like to call them. Every Friday, I'm writing a love letter and sending it out to anybody who's on my email list. There's no sales gimmick. There's no pushing anything. It's literally just from my heart to yours. And I would love if you wanted to be on it. If you do, you can go to lionheartcoachingco.com and join my email list. And I will make sure that you get added to it for this next one that goes out this Friday. All right. Today, I have Miss Kirsten Ruybalid. I was hesitant to say her last name because, I don't know, it's kind of late and I'm like questioning myself right now. And did I just say her name right? I damn well better know her name. She's one of my best friends. She's been through so much with me, with my business, starting her business. And it's pretty cool how we met. We originally met on Instagram. She sent me a message, and just so happens that she lives literally 5 minutes from where I am. And we became very fast friends. Actually, I'll tell you a really funny story. So she joined me with my network marketing business, and then her mom jumped in. So we went to go meet her mom for coffee and to talk about everything. And I'm staring at her mom like, how do I know this woman? And I realized that she actually did my mom's hair when I was little. And there was this particular time where I was sitting on my mom's lap and she was blow drying my mom's hair, and my hair got caught in the blow dryer. And the way she handled it was so loving and so kind, and she'd felt so bad. And that little moment was so impactful for me. I saw her be so compassionate and caring. And it's it seems silly, but you just never know when one little moment could make an impact. I just thought that was really cool. So I wanted to share. Okay, before we jump in, I have to say, I'm struggling to find the words here. Listening to myself back as I'm talking to Kirsten, I'm like, what does this girl deal with out of me on a regular basis? I had to cut out so many sideline remarks, just silly nonsense. You kind of hear it in the beginning because I couldn't really cut all of it out. But all I can say is, Kirsten, I love you. Thank you for putting up with me all the time. All right. Let me go ahead and let you roll right into this interview. Here is my courageous conversation with Kirsten. Kirsten, thank you so much for joining us today on Courageous Conversation. I'm just kidding.
It's like, rewind.
Thank you for joining me today, Kirsten. Yeah. And before we jump into anything, I know so much about you, but nobody listening, well, some people listening might know you.
Maybe.
So just tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, where you're from, your date of birth, your time of birth, location, and also favorite color, favorite food, favorite dinosaur. Go.
Dinosaur? Long neck.
Really? You had an answer.
I did have an answer.
Right? I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so we're for real doing this? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going with it.
Bronchiosaurus, I think is actually the name. Okay, well.
Spell that.
Don't tell me to spell that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You are Kirsten.
From Front Royal.
Oh, no, Virginia. She did not. Okay.
3 kids. Married.
Mm-hmm.
What else did you ask me?
What do you do?
Well, I was a stay-at-home mom for like 7 years, on and off. Then decided to, well, we did a little network marketing together, and that's how we met.
Yeah.
And that kind of sparked my love for events even more than I already had. And then I decided to start my own business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wildly Whimsical Events.
I love it.
Yeah.
I did want to talk to you about what you felt like as a stay-at-home mom versus what you felt like when you were doing work. And I just kind of have had this thought mulling over in my head lately, because the idea of doing something for ourselves can be really hard sometimes when we have little kids. We don't want to miss a thing, and we want to be there for them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we want something for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. It's actually funny you said that, because I was at an expo on Saturday, and I was talking to the woman that was next to me, and we were talking about our business, and she just started in November, and she said a lot of people will come up to her and be like, "You're doing this for your kids."
What?
Right? Like your drive is your kids.
Oh, okay.
And her and I both at the same time said no.
Yeah.
And she was like, she looked at me like, "You get it."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "I do get it. Of course we want to do this to give our kids a better life. We want to, have the means to make them have a better life. But we're actually doing this for ourselves."
Yeah.
Especially moms who have been a stay-at-home mom in the past. Like you've been everything for everyone except for yourself.
Right.
And it was just a really cool connection that I had with her on Saturday. And just to see someone else, you get it, that's not maybe your best friend, because I know you get it.
Yeah. I think that what is important is that you are doing your purpose work.
Yeah. And I think it's important for my kids to see that. Obviously, it was so funny. Like it would always be like, I'm going to be a mommy. I'm going to be a mommy.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was at Starbucks, she wanted to be a barista. She wanted to make coffee.
Yeah.
And then we were with Mon8. She's like, "I'm going to be a Mon8 girl."
Yeah.
And now she's like, "I'm going to be events. I'm going to do events. I'm going to do picnics." So it's been awesome to see her really be inspired by every single thing I do.
Right.
And I want her to have that huge ambition and drive that I have, because I've told myself that I was going to be a business owner since I was probably Ava's age, honestly.
Yeah.
It just wasn't events.
Well, I know what you mean because I've always been that way too. I never wanted anybody telling me what to do. I think it's a projector thing.
Oh, yeah.
We are both projectors in human design. If you're not aware what that is, you'll have to go listen to, what episode is it, 2? I did episode 2 all about human design. But we're both projectors, and we don't like to be told. A lot of people don't like to be told what to do, a lot of different types, but it's just every single one of my projector clients are business owners, and I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's just what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
We have the vision and we want to execute it, and we don't want somebody else telling us. And I even have a hard time doing group work with people, because it's not that I can't work in a group, because I really can if I put my mind to it. But I have a vision and I want to create it. And
yeah.
It's hard.
It is hard. It's very hard, especially when you're in the business that I'm in with events. It is a vision. It's nothing but a vision, and trying to explain it to someone. So that's why I don't have a partner. It's just me.
Right. Well, because even when I come help you, sometimes I'll try to give you ideas, and I'm like, please no, you can just say, shut up. Because I get it. I get it. When I did photography, I hated when somebody would say like, oh, go take the picture from over there or something. I'm really like, not that I don't want to be open to the idea of learning and growing and.
Oh yeah, that's totally different for sure.
Right.
You can learn from others. It just doesn't have to be for that specific.
Yeah. Right.
event.
When you're doing it, like if you have a vision, you want to execute it. So events, you started last year.
I did.
Okay. I want to talk about like your origin story. How did do you know the moment when you decided you were going to do this? I think I remember. I think you poloed me.
Probably. Of course I poloed you.
You were like, I've got it.
I don't necessarily remember, honestly. I remember knowing that I wanted something, for forever. And then I remember one night I was sitting there with Jeff and we were talking. I don't know. I was on Pinterest or something. I saw the sleeping TP things.
Yeah.
And my brain just started going 100 miles a minute. And I was like, I need to do something.
Yeah.
And I was like, we could do the TPs. And then I was like, no. Saw the luxury picnics from Australia. And there was a company in Australia. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can make picnics luxury. And you can build the tables, babe. And
you already have been doing that.
Yeah. And we actually did an event for Mon 8, and it was a luxury picnic event. And I basically, we all worked together, but I had this vision, and
that was your baby. You totally ran with that.
It was my first actual picnic. And then I had people messaging me. You're so right. I forgot all about this. I had people messaging me saying, what company did you use?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
People asked me too. I was like, oh.
I was like, me? Me? And then now it's an actual company, and I'm actually doing it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that, to be honest with you.
And then last year, so you started right in the spring, like right when picnics would be starting, right?
I made everything. I got all my license and stuff in February.
That's right.
And then April, I launched, and then I had my first picnic in April.
And it did not come without challenges last year, though.
No, oh my gosh, no.
And I did want to kind of hit on that because I think people think things just come easy.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're hard. I actually was talking about this with somebody yesterday because there's this limiting belief that if I just work harder, if I just do more, and sometimes it's just not energetically aligned. There's a big difference in something being really hard and you working your butt off and you're not moving forward. That's probably an energetic block versus here's a bunch of bumps in the road because you have to learn over and over again, all these different things. I feel like you had not the same lesson. You had different lessons.
Oh, many.
Over and over again last year because you had to be able to mold your business the way you needed to.
Yeah, you're constantly learning. I swear we tell each other, oh, well, that was just something We had to learn
Yeah.
all the time with our first year of business. And I'm very grateful for every single bump in the road that I had last year, because I wouldn't be having this success that I'm having right at this moment if it wasn't for all of that. I think like the biggest thing for small businesses, especially in our area, is to not have expectations that other businesses are just going to want to jump and leap and help you.
Right.
Because it's unfortunate that that's not the case, but don't give up. And there is going to be small businesses that are going to want to help you and work together and collaborate.
Yeah.
I think that was like my biggest, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for?
Aha moment.
Yes. And I was just shocked, really shocked.
Right. At the mistreatment from some business owners.
And just how they just didn't want to support another small business. So from the very beginning, I didn't want to work with like big corporations. I wanted to collaborate with other small businesses in our area, because that was like a really big passion of mine, because I want to be able to help whoever I can with their business.
Right.
And not everyone has that mindset, and that's okay.
Right.
But I just had to learn that.
Yeah. Well, and it got you down a little bit there.
Oh, it did. I was definitely in the pits.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Feeling like, man, how am I going to move forward? But this year was so awesome.
Yes,
because you have other businesses that were like, oh my gosh, come to our location. Oh my gosh, flowers, food, like all the things.
Yep. I did have to change my business model a little bit though last year, after getting told no from a bunch of businesses, which is fine, because that was another lesson I needed to learn, that I don't have to take on so much in my business. I was doing picnics, setting up the picnics, making charcuterie boards, placing the flower orders. Like I was doing all the things of just one person. And I almost feel like I needed to have that aha moment in order for me to realize, okay, Kirsten, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
So now I'm not making charcuterie boards. I've partnered with another small woman-owned business, and I'm contracting out my charcuterie boards. Yeah. Which has been a weight lifted off my shoulders, honestly.
Oh, I'm
in many ways.
Yeah. Well, they're so time consuming. You have to shop for them. It's a whole business all on its own.
It is. It is.
And people started to think that that's what your business was too.
Yeah.
Was charcuterie versus the picnic piece. Well, they probably still saw the picnic piece, but the focus. But now the focus is on the picnics.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and you're getting bookings based on the picnics.
Yes.
So that was really smart move.
Yeah, it needed to happen. Yeah. Definitely.
One of the hurdles that I know you had to go through last year was a mindset piece though. And I want you to share about it, but I remember actually in a Reiki circle, we talked about it. We talked about there's this hump that you need to overcome. And when you do, so much is going to open. Do you want to share?
So it's actually funny you asked that, because I did an article in this magazine recently. And one of the questions was, what is something that I've had to unlearn? And just last year, I had to really work on, especially being a business owner, I had to really work on my self-worth and feeling so unworthy of everything, basically.
Yeah.
Not feeling worthy to be a business owner because I don't have a degree in, business or event planning or whatever it may be. And it's so interesting because you and I are on the same page with this is, people have told us our entire lives, like, you need to have that college degree in order to be successful. Well, actually, no. And we know that.
Right.
We know that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it still is such a limiting belief that just sits there, and it just kind of grows bigger and bigger every now and then. And it's like, but do you know that?
Yeah.
Are you going to be successful? And hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We don't need that college degree.
I mean, I still think about it from time to time, so I understand that.
Yeah. So last year, I actually I signed up for event planner certification, which I'm glad I did. But looking back now, did I do that for me, truly, or did I do that for all the people that told me that I needed to have some form of something on paper to make me worthy and successful in this business?
Right.
And I honestly can't tell you who I did it for in this moment. I think I probably did it for both myself, my business, but also those people that told me that I needed to have a degree.
Yeah.
But not just that, like not just the degree thing that makes me feel unworthy sometimes, but just not having the attention growing up or the recognition. Recognition is huge. It's like a love language for me. And not having that from specific people or certain people in my life growing up, it was really hard. And I was always seeking to do so much for everyone and everything so they could be like, wow, I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted to hear from people is like a true, I'm really proud of you.
Yeah.
And I got that from some people, but some people I just didn't. And it was like a constant yearning for that phrase. So I've had to work through that and kind of just tell myself, well, Kirsten, your worth isn't from what they say. Your worth comes from within you. So,
and are you doing what you love?
Yeah.
Yep. I understand that because same. I didn't always have that. And, you have the really supportive people in your life. For us, I know it was both of our moms were really supportive. And then you have the people that just aren't. Mm-hmm. And I still haven't.
Yeah.
But I think what just came to me when you were saying what you were saying is, how do you feel when you're doing your work? And how do you feel when you're creating these things for your clients? I mean, the worthiness isn't even probably something you're thinking about. It's probably the joy that you're creating or how happy they're going to be and things like that. And it's like, we get focused on that worthiness because we want to be recognized and we want to be seen. But also, the focus really is on our purpose work.
Yeah.
And I think serving people in no matter what capacity as a business is our purpose work.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, when I am in the zone, like yesterday, I was so busy with work and it was just a great day.
Yeah.
I didn't even think for 1 second I wasn't worthy of this client or worthy of this office that I was in, or, I'm not even thinking that at all.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was on fire. It was great.
When is it that the worthiness comes up? I think for me, it's in the quiet moments.
Yeah. I always feel like it's after an event for me.
Okay.
After an event and I'm just sitting, I will sit there and just say, like, did you do this right? Did you do this right? Like, are they going to like this? Is this person going to think that it's great? Or is this person going to say that they're proud of you? Like, it's just a constant after an event for sure.
Even still.
Maybe not as much. Last year, definitely, but I'm working on it. So
yeah. That's what I wanted to ask is like, how have you been able to work through it? Has it just been like talking about it when it comes up, journaling? Like, what's been your thing?
Poloing you. No, Mandy is amazing though, you guys, honestly. She does life coaching and I couldn't recommend her anymore.
Oh, thanks for that.
But truly, honestly, like talking.
Yeah.
Whether it's you or Jeff, my husband, like talking through things helps me so much. Mm-hmm. I was journaling for a little bit. That helped tremendously in that time. I think, there's always going to be a season where something's going to help you that might not help you in a later season.
Oh, yeah. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. Last year, in the beginning of the year, all I did was journal.
Yeah.
Journal. I mean, I have so many journal entries. And it's cool because I can go back and see.
Yeah.
But right now, journaling just it's not helpful to me right now.
Yeah.
So I think that that's okay. Something that may have helped you in one season might not help you now.
So I know you probably haven't heard it yet because it just came out this morning, but I did an episode on healing and our journeys and how different they are. And I feel like that ties so much into what I said yesterday. It's like sometimes I need a therapist. Sometimes I need a life coach. Sometimes I need Reiki. And sometimes I need to meditate. Sometimes I need a journal. It's just, this toolbox is so huge. What do you need right now?
Yeah.
And just lean into that.
That's so funny. I haven't listened to it yet. But we're always so in sync, so it's not shocking to me that just happened.
I know. It is quite wild.
It is.
How we finish each other's sandwiches.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, too, in the beginning of this year, I feel like you made a point to, well, I don't know that you had to. I think it just kind of happened to confront that big beast. I like to call these things a beast because we have to battle them and work through them. And I watched you do it, and it was so inspiring for me because it's something that I have not yet faced for myself. And I think sometimes things are a little personal and we don't need to get into the specifics of it, but just facing it. And how did it feel to face the beast?
Scary.
Yeah.
But really good. Honestly, I was just kind of tired of the bullshit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I was just tired of talking about it to other people, but not actually talking to the source.
Right.
And I think I just got to the point where it was like, it's unfair for me. It's unfair for them. It's unfair for everyone around that I just needed to get it out and just talk and
right.
work it out, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Right.
This thing is going to stay inside of a box or it's going to come out.
Right.
It's not going to get worse.
Yeah. Well, when it stays inside that box, that's that energetic weight that just weighs you down.
Yes, that's true. So it could get worse because it's going to,
it should just stay there.
Yeah, it's just going to stay
there. So
there.
Nothing will change, basically. No.
So getting it out of the box, and a weight has been lifted off of me like no other. Honestly, business started just booming. Everything started to align. I started to be more patient with my kids, which was weird that was even associated. I don't know. It doesn't matter what you have in your box.
Right. It doesn't.
Whatever trauma, it doesn't matter what it is in the box. It's holding you back, whether you believe it or not.
Damn it. You just life coached me.
It is.
I gotta open the box.
You have to. And you have to, maybe you don't want to face it right now, which is fine, but there's going to be a time where you're just like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, it was funny because I was poloing you and I was like, I have to do this right now.
Yeah.
Right now. If I don't, it's not going to happen.
Right.
So when you feel that strong urge, freaking do it.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what gets ignored a lot.
Yes.
Oh, I've ignored it many times.
Yeah.
I can say that.
Yeah. So don't, because then you're just going to wait another year.
Yeah.
And time's just going to keep passing.
Well, and I do believe honesty is so important, and I don't want to be a hypocrite, but there are sometimes when you just don't feel comfortable being honest with somebody. Yeah. But, even yesterday I had a little situation with my husband, and I was like, okay, I have to be honest with you. This bothered me. Mm-hmm. And we were able to work through it. But if we didn't, I would have carried that weighted box down into the night and into the day and da-da-da-da, and then maybe it would explode at some point.
Yeah.
So I do think honesty is really important.
It is. Honesty, and just also having their perspective in your mind. Like, how are they feeling about this too?
Yeah.
And honoring how they're feeling, even if you don't want to.
Right.
As hard as it may be, because maybe you're really mad at them.
Well, that's actually a good point to make too, because when we have this extreme emotional event, or we have something like a cord attached to another person, we always are thinking about it from our victim state and never from the other perspective, their perspective. And obviously we've kind of switched gears now. We're not so much talking about business, but I still think it's an important point to make.
It is.
You never know what's actually going through somebody's head. You never know why they made the decisions that they made until you ask.
Yep.
And even then you cannot agree with their decisions. You can be like, yeah, well, that was still a shitty move to make.
Yeah.
But maybe you can get more of an understanding and say, oh, okay, well, I get it now. I can have compassion for you and still think that you could have done a better job there.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just because you have a conversation with someone doesn't mean the hurt goes away.
Yeah.
It just helps it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hurt's still going to be there, but moving forward, it'll slowly get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I had a situation growing up with somebody, and when I was a young adult, they apologized to me. I still think about the crap that happened, though.
Yeah.
When I was younger. But I don't carry the weight with it. It doesn't, it's just part of my story that made me who I am as a parent and a person. It did help shape me.
Yeah.
Sometimes not so in such a good way, but if I didn't get that apology or if I didn't have that conversation, I don't know. I think I might be more resentful right now.
I think it's hard too because there's so many people who maybe people aren't going to agree with me on this, and that's okay. But I feel like people will just get people out of their lives.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're not in my life, so I'm not, it's not bothering me.
Right.
I'm, washed, whatever. They're just not in my life. And that's not going to help.
I agree with you.
Yeah. It's not going to help you at all. Just not talking to someone or not seeing someone isn't going to resolve anything.
Yeah.
It's just going to make you think what ifs and make you think, well, they don't care about me.
And continue to feed stories into your brain.
And it's going to overtake your mind. And so circling back to the business, like that's what kept happening to me. I felt like when I started this business, I was like, okay, I am going to get the recognition that I've always wanted.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
Right.
I didn't get, as stupid as social media may be, I didn't get that social media post.
Right.
And I was just longing for it. And I'm like slapping myself, Kirsten, stop.
Yeah.
You do not need recognition from anybody. You do not need anything from anybody.
Yeah.
You know the work that you are doing is amazing. You know how hard you work.
Right.
But my mind was taken over. Yeah. And
it was still not good enough.
Yeah, it's still not good enough.
Will I ever be good enough?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. Oh my gosh, that played in my mind all the time. So now that this box has been opened and talked through and healed in a way.
Right.
I don't have to have those thoughts. Like, am I good enough?
Right.
Maybe I'm not getting the post still. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm at peace now.
Well, and some people just aren't even emotionally intelligent enough to know. Sometimes we have to really tell somebody what we need.
Yeah, you have to be honest, for sure. And that goes with, we could have a whole episode about expectations.
Yeah.
And just how you need to have realistic expectations of people.
Yeah.
And you can't expect somebody to read your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what my counselor used to tell me is the answer is no expectations.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have any expectations of anybody.
Oh gosh, if Jeff listens to this, he's going to be like, you need to take your own advice.
I think I do it too, though. I
everyone does it to
it without realizing that that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Richard would say the same.
Yeah.
He would say, why do you expect me to do things that you don't even know? And I would say, because you're a better person than me. That's why.
Oh, gosh. That's so
You're
funny.
better at it. You've shown me how incredibly amazing you are at the dishes. So
I knew that was coming.
I do expect you to do them.
I knew that was coming. It's so funny. Is this still recording, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's so funny that Mandy and I are so in sync and so alike, but yet we are so opposite at the same time. We are like a married couple, but it's a friendship. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way I feel like to describe.
I mean, I'm sure you don't have tumbleweeds of dog hair throughout your house right now, but
No, I definitely do not.
go walk up my stairs one time and you're going to be like, can I make a shirt for you out of this? So I think this has been a really good, courageous conversation. But really, I like that you shared your journey with us because I think, what did you say? You said something.
I said a lot.
Well, you said it a few weeks ago about being a business owner. Like, if you're really a business owner and a true entrepreneur, then you have to process your shit.
Oh, yeah, you do. Gosh, we should have like saved. We had like a 24, like not 24 hours, but like a 10-hour polo session. And we said a lot of good stuff there. We probably should have taken notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll just have to highlight it.
Yeah, we were like, oh man, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you can be a good parent. I don't think you can be a good coach. I don't think you can be a good boss. I don't think you can be a good manager. And I feel like it's really coming to the surface. Like, you can't ignore it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't ignore it anymore. You have to work on your hurts and your emotional events that have hurt you because it's just gonna bite you.
Well, it's exhausting. It's
It
exhausting
is.
to carry, and being a business owner is absolutely exhausting.
Yeah.
It is non-stop. I could sit here and list 50 things
Yeah.
just like that,
Yeah.
that we have to do daily for our business.
Don't do it. I'll fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, so
It's too much.
it is. So
get tired.
you have all of that stuff, and then you're going to have this hurt and this baggage that you're carrying that's going to be heavy.
Well, and
That's
it projects into your
It
business.
does. It projects into your business. And so now you're exhausted from all the things and you're
Yeah.
overwhelmed. You're going to be overwhelmed because you're going to be naturally anxious when you're holding on to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta process it. You gotta let it go.
Yeah. Well, and taking it out on other people though is
Yeah.
the thing. Like, whether a client says something to you, like, I'm not going to identify, I'm not going to tell any specific stories, but I will say, like, I have people that they definitely, if their client gives them any criticism, they snap. Well, why is that? Go backwards, go to childhood. I have people who really mistreat their employees, badly. Well, why is that? There's an ego trip there. There's something happening. There's that need to control. And what's happening is the foundation is falling out from under them. I don't know. It's just, if you don't deal with your shit, you're not going to have a good relationship with anybody. Like your kids, your spouse, your employees. You got to face your shit. You can't ignore it anymore.
You don't want to leak all over people.
Yeah. Yeah. What's just becoming more obvious though is what's wild to me is, like, when we were growing up, I don't think anybody paid attention to this stuff
No.
at all.
Mm-mm.
I don't know that was the word for business owners, was to heal your wounds. It wasn't.
No.
It was.
I mean, honestly, it's probably still not for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe they'll listen to this podcast.
I don't know. I'm reading that book Mindset, and it was written in 2004. And I think that's probably when in the late 90s.
A shift.
Yeah, there was a little bit of shift, but not huge.
Mm-hmm.
There's still plenty of organizations that only care about the bottom dollar. They don't care about the employee. But you have to if you want to be successful. I think that. And it doesn't matter if you have a one-woman show business or a big organization with employees. Like, you have to care about the person. You have to care about what you're doing. And it has to align with your purpose work. I just really believe that.
It does. And even your client too, not just your employees. Like, you have to, because there's many businesses out there that don't care about their clients. And it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. It's mind-blowing.
It is.
freaking Hoover. They never gave us our money back.
You never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
I mean, I don't know what's wrong with me.
I just love the gamer headphones, man. It's just...
They look so ridiculous. Oh, my client told me they block my essence. Because I'm like, I can't breathe when I wear these things.
I would feel claustrophobic.
That's what it is, I think.
Yeah.
I don't like them. But it's all I got.
I mean, hey,
It's
it
all
works.
I got. So, I need, Richie's like, what do you want for Mother's Day? And he knows I want headphones. But I'm like, don't you buy me a business expense for Mother's Day. I will kill you. I always like to end my podcast episodes on the golden nugget. Like, what's the golden piece of advice that you could leave everybody with?
Oh my goodness. I think I would say to not give up on yourself, because there could have been plenty of times where, I mean, you guys, I've started so many things and I was like, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. And I never really truly gave up on myself, even when things wouldn't work out. And I knew deep down that something was going to happen. I was going to be a business owner, like I always said I was. And it was going to be all mine, and it was going to be done from my hard work. I just didn't know when it was going to happen. And I never gave up on that idea. I've never gave up on that dream. And so just truly, it's so cliche, but do not give up on yourself or your dreams. Like, they actually truly can come true.
Yeah.
So cliche. Gosh.
No, I feel that pretty deeply, though, because I think of where I was last year. And I remember, I think I might have told this story on the podcast, but I know you know it. It's like sitting in Richie's office, and I'm like, I'm just going to do nothing. Yeah. I'm just going to be home with the kids. I'm just going to put all this off for a little while. Like, maybe we just live on your income. Mm-hmm. Which would have sucked. But genuinely, I was like, what am I going to... I'm not worth... Who am I to tell anybody anything? It's just, you gotta put one foot in front of the other. You gotta keep going. You gotta not quit on yourself. Yeah. And there's a big difference in quitting on yourself and quitting something that no longer works.
Oh, yes. 100%.
Know when to fold them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sister?
Yeah. But, honestly.
Yeah.
And also find yourself a good friend.
Oh, yeah.
Because we've done everything from this past, 4 years? 3 years? together.
Is it? No, what?
3
How many
years?
years is this? 4?
I don't know. 4?
Wait, when did you... Was it 2019 or 2020?
I think it was
2019.
Yeah, 2019.
4 years.
Yeah. I mean, here I was at my grandmother's house taking care of her last year in February. I was making my website, got my LLC, and you were in the same process.
Yeah.
And you being Mandy was not submitting. And I'm on Polo. Mandy, it takes 2 seconds. Go get your LLC right now. And you did. Do you remember that?
I know. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for you, because
you literally went and did it right then and there.
What is it about me? I don't know. I never had any diagnosis or anything, but if I think the task is too complex or complicated, I just won't do it at all.
Yeah. So then I'll do it. And then I tell you that it's not going to be that hard. And you do it. And then you're like, yes, I did it.
I know. I would have not done that. I had to FaceTime you, and you had to walk me through it. And then there we go.
But then there's some things where I'm just like, I'm not doing that. And you're like, what? No.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to me today. We've been wanting to do this for a while. I'm glad we finally did.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Oh, you're
so proud of you.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Oh, we can just be proud of each other.
High five.
The end. Oh my gosh. What messes we are. Beautiful messes though, right? Okay. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope if you found value out of this, you will share it with a friend. If you're interested in Kirsten's business, you can go check out Wildly Whimsical Events on Instagram and tag her. If you heard something she said and you loved it, please share it and tag her, and me too. @lifewithmandy_ is my handle. And all right, my friend, until next week, please remember you are loved and you are valued and you are appreciated. Bye now.